How to hire technicians from start to finish. How do you find good technicians? Most of them are already at Wilson Company. So what does the process look like? Is there any secret sauce to getting a good technician at Wilson?
I think people always say, like, always be recruiting. But, like, let's go further on that. Welcome back to Owned and Operated. We're chilling. We're talking. We're about to dive into today is how to hire technicians.
How to hire technicians from start to finish.
Okay. What?
I mean,
that's just okay.
Because like the
So
back
you've
end's
got, like,
easy.
7 steps.
Yeah.
Okay.
The back end's not too bad. It's like retention and how much we pay them and things like that. But the beginning is how do you find good technicians? Most of them are already at Wilson Company.
Totally.
I'm in Akron, Ohio. I'm like, man, I got 2 technicians. How do I get my third? I'm not going to steal them from Wilson. Where am I going to get them from?
Yeah.
So what does the process look like from the top to getting a good technician at Wilson? Because we don't do it right at Rapid. We're trying, but we're not there yet. Help out, John. Help the people.
Okay.
That was a nervous okay. Like, oh gosh, that was a lot of responsibility. No,
Yeah.
but like seriously, so we're going through a process right now where we had one technician we had to let go for reasons. Was our top tech, unfortunately. And then recently we had another tech, or probably our second, maybe our third best tech out of 5 or 6. He's leaving because the hours don't work for him, which he lives an hour away, makes sense, but mostly like he has a big farm that he runs. So this is kind of, I don't want to say it's a side job. He's a really good technician. He's young. He's 19. He's bought, a ton of stuff recently, like new truck, house, whatever. But he still has a farm that he runs, and that's a big operation. And he's not used to being away in the summer from the farm. And so I think that weighs really heavily on him. I don't blame him. I get it. That being said, I don't like it. I think it's a really short-sighted move, but neither here nor there when it comes to hiring technicians. So we have a...
Well, can I ask, just some dumb questions?
Yeah, let's hit it.
How much money do your technicians make? Like, lowest, highest, pick a trade. HVAC, plumbing?
Yeah, I mean, we'll focus on HVAC here, but they're making good money. Plumbers are making regularly upwards of $45 to $50 an hour. Some of it's dependent on commission.
Yeah.
But the HVAC techs aren't far behind. They're just structured a little differently. And obviously he started with us in November. So we got to see that nice cold snap, but we didn't have an overly cold winter. And then he's been trudging through March, April.
Oh, in May. I mean, May this year was...
Yeah. I mean, May we had a blast of a May.
Yeah.
You guys had a cold front. We didn't.
We had some challenge with retainment in HVAC during May because it was May and it was 40 degrees.
Yeah.
So we actually had a couple people switch careers fully out of HVAC, which
Well, that's what this
has
guy's
happened
doing.
almost annually because it's HVAC is tough.
Yeah.
Plumbing's pretty consistent, but HVAC is are you working 100 hours a week or are you working 20? That's tough. Are you looking to grow your home service business with a steady and predictable stream of high-intent leads? Well, Monetize helps contractors scale with 4 powerful tools: inbound calls, live transfers, and branded programs, all designed to connect you with homeowners who are ready to start projects right now. They've delivered over 9 million leads, generated $4 billion in revenue, and support more than 25 trades across the country. Whether you've maxed out LSAs or you need leads to fill a revenue gap, Monetize is your growth lever from inquiry to install. Click the link below to start driving consistent growth with Monetize.
And I think that was a little bit of it. And so, he was generating $35 an hour plus after commissions, which is not amazing, but it's shoulder season. And going into the boom months where he's going to make, 40% in 3 months of his yearly salary is what and I explained that to him, but he broke it down and said, Jack, I had to pay someone on the farm $5,000 to pull this hay in for me because I'm working I leave my house at 7, I start my first job at 8, and I don't get home till 6 or 7 at night. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's kind of the industry. You are going to work some OT in summer. It's summer. It's not crazy, but it was too much. So he's changing careers. He's going facilities maintenance, still fixing things, but he thinks it's going to be a strict 8. It's not going to be a strict 8. I've come from facilities maintenance, but
and the benefit of having a job for him is like consistency in the winter.
Yeah, it must be off season.
Yeah,
around like the 6 to 9 other months of the year that he needs it. Yeah. So, it is what it is. It hurts because like you train somebody and you hold them through like the shoulder season. You make sure they have jobs and they're making money, only for them to leave right before summer.
Yeah,
but it's not
that
personal.
A few times. Yeah, I think people are just living their life.
So what we're doing to try to fix that. Oh, do you have any more questions first?
Well, I mean,
because it's not a monetary
so recruitment,
thing.
Like I think if we sum up recruitment,
yeah,
it's the same. And I'm just gonna always emphasize this. You got to think of it like these are your inside customers. Mm-hmm. It's a sales process. So are we being as thoughtful about our Google My Business listings as we are how we show up to recruits?
Yeah.
So, hey, to customers, we're 24/7, we're fair prices, all the different like value adds, like why choose Wilson if you're going to pay us money? Well, same back for recruitment. Like why choose us? Great pay, great benefits.
Yep.
New vans, clean facilities, good uniforms. Like what are the things that you bring to the table? Flexible time off, a lot of holidays. I don't know what they are for you, but I think that's where I was going was like, hey, what's comp? Yeah. Are the vans new? Are the benefits good? Like actually good? Compare like are they like good for benefits isn't like are you investing a lot of money? It's are your competitors' benefits better?
Question for you on that. I mean, I had this very long discussion with our HR person. How do you view benefits truthfully specifically outside of like health benefits and how much percentage you're paying versus how much percentage your team is paying? Do you view that as a high driver to your company?
Comes up a lot.
Does it? Because we were talking about things like life insurance and 401k match. I know we've had this chat offline in some of our other groups. And for us, I don't have anyone who's ever asked about life insurance.
Oh, yeah.
Or dental or vision or it's like when a credit card company.
I thought you meant like healthcare.
No, I mean like
outside of healthcare.
When a credit card company gives you like free rental insurance and you just never use it because you don't know it's there half the time.
Yeah.
But also it's super low value in your life. Almost feel like some of the benefits that we provide are like that. And is there ways that we could showcase that and use that money towards other things?
Yeah.
But that's internally that we're dealing with. Do you see that?
That's a good question. I actually don't know. That's a good question. Yeah. I think where we struggle is explaining benefit, like the benefit of the cost of the benefits even, for compensation. Because what we really try to tie down is how much is someone actually making. Mm-hmm. So we have obviously a big team, and people are either on like a base plus commission or they're on a task pay model. And right now we have some people asking like they're on the task pay model and they want to go hourly, like the base plus commission. And you have to do a lot of education because if you like, hey, I will pay you less money if you want to be paid less money. Like, sure, great. But like, you need to know that you're asking for $30 an hour and right now you're making $60. Like, do you understand the math of your current compensation? And we find a lot of people don't. Like, they think they're being dicked over, or they think like a lot of different things. But then you start diving into it, and it's like, oh yeah, you make $65 an hour.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Like, I can help you do the math, but I don't know. Like, that's what the comp is. So we want to do the same with benefits, where we call it effective hourly rate. So like, hey, yes, you get task pay or you get like base plus commission, but if your base is $30 an hour and your commission is $8,000 a month, you're not making $30 an hour.
Yeah.
Like, I'll help you do the math, but you're not making $30 an hour. What we're trying to nail down now is the effective hourly rate of the benefits. Mm-hmm. So, hey, if you're in that scenario, we can do the math, but someone's probably making $70, $80 an hour. And So they're making 70, $80 an hour compensation, and then probably another $20 an hour of benefits. So it's a $200,000 investment into that person. So that's something we're trying to work through now, so people understand what's actually happening inside their compensation.
Are you planning to extrapolate that into like time off and flexible days or anything like that as well? I don't think that 6 days off would add that much to an hourly, just because you're adding an extra 6 to 48 hours.
Well, there's 6 holidays, there's 10 vacation days.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably something.
It's a lot. I mean, that's almost a month.
Yeah,
it's 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, so to step back, I mean, I think that we are doing a lot of the things correctly. We were trying within our means, because Chris Hoffman talks about a lot. Like, he didn't start off day one offering everybody 100%. It takes a while to get there. We're doing the best we can in the situation, the size we are. We pay very, very well. A lot of it's heavy commission, which we have to be, because I think that that's the way we flow. We don't really have issues with that, right? This is kind of the first person that we've ran into that we've actually got on board. Once they get on board, it's the explanation up front that's hard. Like, hey, this is your commission. This is what our other guys are doing.
Once the $6,000 checks start clearing,
they'll love it. It's not a big deal anymore.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just getting through that first phase. But now the question is, how do we hire better from the top? And so from what that looks like for me right now is we have a recruiter full time, and we've been optimizing. So I was super embarrassed, actually, when we did the workshop last. I was like sitting in the back while you're talking about recruiting and like, hey, let's look up what your company is, and let's look up. And you're like, I bet Jack's doing it wrong or something. I was like, no, I'm not, John. And I look it up and I'm like, let me see what mine's looking like. And it was so when you buy a business, right, you don't actually buy the business name. You buy essentially a parent company and then DBA it, or something of the sort, right? Mm-hmm. They were running the ads under our parent company name. And so we have 5 locations, everybody on Google, like, they know rapid response. People, you could Google us and see our thousands of reviews that we have. When you Google the parent company,
it's like Jack Carr's
you
HVAC
get nothing.
LLCs.
No Google business, anything. And so, like, that was a big wake up call that I needed to step up and own this department more on the hiring side. But we went through and fixed that. And we've got our applicants are through the roof. The recruiter is doing an amazing job at bringing those in. Mm-hmm. The problem is actually the conversion between applicant putting application in and stepping in the door.
Yeah, sit rate.
Yeah.
So you have a good. So I'm just going to make the sales.
Yeah.
You have a good book rate.
Correct.
I'm booking the first call, but they cancel.
Correct.
So that makes sense. So then, like, if we're just unpacking this the same way that we unpack a service call.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do we do in between that screening phone call, which, like, customer calls in, they have a problem, we book the appointment, that's the screening call. We're going to go out the next day. What happens? Well, they get a video or they get an email saying, like, hey, here's Wilson, here's what we're all about, here's what to expect on your service call. So we have value builds in there to make sure that they really understand. It's a book rate problem. You have the book rate to sit rate problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, like every sales organization has that.
So we fixed, that makes sense. We fixed the key component, which was like, hey, they can actually Google it, see who we are, but that's the expectation that they're going to do the work rather than you removing some of that friction and saying, hey, we have your email. We're going to send you this off. This is what a day in the life looks like. This is why you want to work here. This is the reasons behind everything to make sure that they're coming in.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple too.
Yeah. And then once they get in, it's the same thing. We're Nexstar members, we're Certain Path members.
Yeah.
I know there's others out there, but those are the 2 that we're members of. You've got the 6 steps, like, hey, make sure you park at the right spot, knock on the door right, here's how you greet. Same thing with an interview. Like, we've talked about our process for interviews, but we have a 6-step. Like, hey, we're going to sit here, we're going to talk about our core values, we're going to walk over here, talk about your growth plan, we're going to look at the call center. We're going to go, now we just put this review wall in, which is really
which
cool.
Is super cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So, like, hey, here's the training room. We invest in you. Here's the review wall. Our customers love us. Here's the warehouse. You'll always be taken care of. Boom, interview. So, like, that's the 6 steps of, like, closing each objection door.
Which is cool because we've been building that for customer retention or internal customer retention policy.
Yeah,
it's like we built the training room to try and do this. We put in VMI to try and do this, or as partially for convenience sake, right? Because VMI is helpful to have stuff on site, but it's not so incredibly helpful above and beyond outside of, hey, it's really, really convenient for technicians and for
They love it.
yeah, you as the owner. And so that's interesting.
Do you have VMI?
We just got it.
Yeah.
We're like a step below. So it's not vendor managed inventory.
Cool.
It's ghost warehouse.
Techs love a good, we over the years, it's been a while, 2 years, but we used to lose techs because we couldn't keep a good warehouse.
Yeah.
Like it matters,
Yeah, I need to take a video.
It's going to inconvenience their day. It's going to inconvenience their, like it matters. It's a real issue.
Definitely.
We lost some in HVAC. We just, we're the studio, like this is for the listener, I guess, but we have 2 buildings. It's like a campus now. And there's the building we're in is the HVAC building. We just took it over in January. We put a lot into it. There's a second VMI that's just HVAC, which that's on the table. And then there's equipment in the back. So like HVAC building, which is pretty fun. And that was a big win because before that we were losing HVAC, rightfully so. Like we were doing a bad job. We were losing HVAC techs to like no equipment on site, not enough equipment. They had to wait around too long, and they're being paid task pay. Yeah. So like, hey, these guys are like, task pay. The benefit to the company is downtime's covered. Your exact cost of margin. So it's a win for the company, and for the technician, they make well above normal hourly rate. So like, should be a win-win. But if we fuck up our part, like they have a right to be annoyed.
Yeah. And I think that's probably honestly a big portion of our miss on the back end. Yeah. It's tough. It's not that specific example, but it's going through improving, right? As a technician, what are your big 3 worries? And it's like, hey, I'm not gonna have enough jobs. Do you have me on commission? So how do you prove to the technician in the interview that you'll have enough jobs?
We pull up service
their whole year. And so that's like, hey, locking down that process so that they're able to see it.
Some of it's confidence. Yeah. Too.
Confidence of like the interviewer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, how do you explain it? But when I was doing interviews, I would pull up Service Titan. Now I'm actually not sure what they do. But like, if someone asked us if we were slow now, we would have almost too sophisticated of an answer.
Yeah. Well, I don't
like. We would start like if someone asked me that, I would start walking through our funnel, which I don't think would be helpful.
That's not the right way.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
but I think just showing Service Titan would be like, yeah. No.
Realistically, though, I think at a point it's less like you don't become a campus business if you don't have enough.
Yeah, I think people ask us a lot less than they used to. Yeah. But I'm also not in the interview, so I don't know.
Yeah, as a smaller company, I think it comes up more like, hey, am I going to get laid off in 3 months when it's shoulder season?
Yeah.
So. But yeah, so it's going through, it sounds like, and really hitting the big reasons for why the tech should work for you guys. Yeah. Taking their objections and
figuring out ways to close them as a process.
As a process versus waiting for them to ask.
Right. And what I would do is move upstream from the recruitment process. What we've done is we have our HR stack. We have HR generalist, so she heads up that team, and she has 3 recruiters reporting to her. Krissa, Abby, and Diane. So guys, you guys are great. I think they listen, and they are great. They're awesome, and so they report. And what we provide them with is you don't have to do it annually like we do, but you can. We provide them with an annual budget of hires. Mm-hmm. So basically, in October, I'm going to be working on 2026's hiring plan, which I understand is like a big lift. Who knows? Obviously, there's a lot to figure out. Yeah. You have some like, how much are we going to retain? How much, there's a lot going on there. But we do our best. I don't think it's perfect, but we do our best. But that gives recruiting time to plan. Because recruiting, we're just going to make this marketing again because I think this is going to help people. I think people always say, like, always be recruiting. But, like, let's go further on that. I almost said double click, but I knew John would make fun of me. Double click on that.
It's no secret that my office here in Nashville is almost completely empty. So how do I support my team as well as have great growth metrics? Well, the answer is international contractors with Quick Staffers. So Quick Staffers is a premier staffing agency which will place top-tier talent in your business, built by the trades for the trades. So if you need a CSR, they'll be placing a CSR that is highly trained in your business, that knows Service Titan and can book calls effectively day one, call one. Affordable, reliable, and trained in all of the industry best practices, Quick Staffers can help you cut that overhead, boost conversions, and scale your business fast. So don't waste another lead. Visit quickstaffers.com and transform your business today.
So always recruiting. So there's planned recruitment and there's reactionary recruitment. That's how we think about it. Planned recruitment is next June. I know that I have this many members. I'm roughly projected to have this many members. I could be off by a little bit, but like a guess is, directionally correct is better than not trying. So I will need 12 HVAC service techs in team. Yeah. That's somebody we have.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just saying if you need another 12, that would be.
Yeah, that would be inconvenient. But yeah. So hey, we need 12. Right now we have 8 or 9. So like, you figure out where you are, where you want to be. And if it's planned, then they have months to figure it out. They have months to ramp up their outbound effort, figure out their communication, post jobs everywhere. And that is how we have had the most success.
Is there any secret sauce, which makes that all makes sense, right? Is once again, be intentional about how you're doing and planning, and you have the reactionary
it's the same
one.
As like, I know that I need leads in December. So it's like branding versus lead gen.
Yeah.
So like branding, I'm investing branding dollars today to get leads next March. Makes sense. It's going to rise all boats. Lead gen is I need leads today. So it's sort of the same thing. You have the planned, you have this long-term, let's keep the cycle going, let's go. And then you have the reactionary, like, hey, so-and-so just quit today. Sorry. I just remembered like a quit story. We hired somebody like a month ago and they were literally smoking. Weed is legal in Ohio.
Yeah.
So I've never had a thing with weed, but like smoking weed at work is like, all right.
Probably frowned upon.
Yeah. So like this dude's lighting up in a customer's house and the customer catches him. We catch him. Yeah. And we're like, hey man, you're going to need to do a drug like it was a she said, he said type thing. He's like, I wasn't smoking weed. Customer said, that was weed. It was absolutely weed. You can walk in my house. It was weed. So we were like, hey, we're going to need a drug test. Like, here's the thing. And he quit the next day. He's like, well, if you guys are looking over my shoulder, I'm like, you're lighting a blunt in someone's house, dude. Like, yeah, we're going to ask about it.
Yeah, we're not looking over your shoulder here, buddy.
Yeah, the text was hilarious. Well, if people are going to look, if you guys micromanage here, what the fuck are you talking about? That was crazy. So hey, weed guy in the basement quit today. We got to replace that seat as soon as possible. So part of the best part of like recruiting all the time and using a plan strategy is you can pull up hires faster and react faster.
Yeah.
Because it takes 60 days to place. Like it's 60 days.
Yeah.
So there's no like shortcut to that I could find. I mean, we have signing bonuses.
Yeah.
But if I need, it's hard. And I think also just really creating a cycle of onboarding. Like we onboard every 2 weeks, period. And every cohort is 3 to 5 people.
Yeah. It's
every 2 weeks because we have some planned turnover. We have some regrettable turnover. Company hits a certain size, people just have to leave for
It's a numbers game. Yeah. It's a numbers game. It happens.
We've had 2 people lose a parent.
Yeah.
In a different state in the last 30 days. Nothing to do with us. They had to go be with their family. Makes total sense. So like it just happens. So like you have to keep this constant funnel. You have to keep going. So planning recruitment over the course of a year, setting really hard, like we will onboard every 2 weeks, and don't like break that.
Yeah.
Because it really gets hairy when you break outside of those 2 weeks. Like we do a terrible job onboarding when it's not, we call them off cycles. They're rough.
Yeah.
I'm good.
And with that though, so is there any strategy that you give? So recruiters, right? They naturally have the ability to go into the back end of LinkedIn, or
Yeah.
they're using, Indeed Plus or whatever the expanded
Smart
model
service,
is,
yeah.
smart service, and they're going in and actively messaging people.
Yep.
What is the best strategy that you found that actually works to have the recruiters do? Just utilizing everything at their disposal?
Yeah, I think dream scenario, I'm all about the generalist to specialist to expert thing.
Yep.
So you have one recruiter.
Yeah.
On one hand, like it's always fun just like looking at it from different sides, I think.
Are you going to say something insulting right now? Is that why you're prefacing that?
I'm not going to say something
You only
insulting.
have one.
No, I'm not.
You should have a $40 million business that you could have three.
Okay. Cool. I was not. I mean, I can. I'll toss a couple. I'll toss a couple insults here. I'll just like sling them. Okay. So, on one hand, that person is a specialist because they're not like your call taker.
Yeah.
Doing recruitment, or like a service manager.
Or they're not. It's not an HR person who's doing HR.
Just specializing in that role. So, like from a high level, you have a specialist. You can go deeper.
Yeah.
And like you can go much deeper. Which is like I think that's the funny thing whenever you unpack these like different roles. That's what I think is kind of fun. Is hey, I just brought on this specialist. This is awesome. And then you start diving deeper, and you're like, well, they're recruiting office staff, plumbers, electricians, HVAC. Are they a specialist, or are they a generalist now?
Yeah.
And so what we've done is we've taken that a little bit of a step further, and we have 3 recruiters. We have an administrative recruiter, so that's in office or offshore, is all done through that recruiter. We keep, and that's much more reactive. It's, as you can imagine, it is hilariously simple to place administrative positions versus like a technician. So that's a pretty like high churn, thing. And it's just a distraction because of how easy it is. Like if I gave an administrative position to a plumbing or HVAC recruiter, it's so easy. That's all they want to do because it's so easy.
Yeah.
It's just so easy. Like we'll do a hire in like 30 minutes, versus like, it takes work.
Yeah.
It takes work on plumbing. And then the other ones, we divided plumbing and electric, and HVAC and drains, I think, are the 2 different ways to do it. And we did that because HVAC and drains both have service, sales, and install.
Mm-hmm.
And plumbing has sales and install, electric has sales and install.
Okay.
So we tried to give them like 4 to 6 positions total to recruit for, I think, each.
Yeah.
And there's, they basically handle 15 positions, which is, to me, kind of a lot. Anything outside of that, like sort of bespoke stuff, leadership positions, I get a lot more involved in. Yeah. So recruitment, you can go deeper. And that's where we also found success too, was, hey, if this person is looking at HVAC service resumes all day long, talking to HVAC service guys all day long, she's going to have a better feel.
Much better feel. Yeah. Because I know we have noticed that there's a little bit that we get a lot of them. There's a lot of mediocre quality.
Yep.
It's not necessarily the person's fault, right? Because like you said, they're doing admin, and they're doing plumbing, and they're doing HVAC, and they're doing, these myriad of positions. And so to know the specifics, to know if an HVAC person is good, is much more difficult than just like random, hey.
And we're at the size where we had to, I think about this a lot too, where Tommy Mello, he described a lot the phase that I'm in right now.
Yeah.
Where like they had to take a year and document everything.
Yeah.
And I mean, shit you wouldn't have thought even made sense. And literally, how do you tell a good resume is a thing that we've had to document.
So we should do a whole episode on this, because I think about this more than you could imagine.
I don't even think it's relevant yet.
I think about this so much.
Yeah.
And I think let me preface this. It's super boring.
It's so boring.
But
I'm bored out of my mind.
So the reason I think about it
has to happen
more than you do is because A, it has to happen. B, I utilize a lot more offshore talent in a lot higher positions than you do.
Yeah.
So like my call center manager's offshore.
Yeah.
All my call centers offshore. Like inside sales is offshore. HR specialist, recruiter, all offshore. Wow. So like everything,
You should launch
an offshore recruiting company.
Recruiting.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be
agency.
fun.
I know. I saw this domain name recently. It was available. Is it Quick Staffers?
Oh no, that one's gone.
Yeah.
So somebody quickly
Some
grab that
asshole,
one.
Some bold asshole in Nashville. There you go. There's your first insult. It's not your way.
I appreciate it.
Thanks. I have 2 more.
I think that was like backhanded somewhere along the line, but I'm okay with it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think there's a compliment in
It
there.
was
partial.
Yeah.
But point being is that because of that, I do a lot more documenting just because I can't afford to have like the water cooler conversations. And so point being is that there's a lot more that needs to be documented, and I'm even trying to take that step further and going like, how do I hire? I know you were talking about it a long time ago.
Years
The
ago, we talked
process,
about business process.
Yeah.
There's a title for it, business process strategist or something. But yeah.
Somebody just that goes through and just really documents down everything. And with AI now, it's a lot easier than it used to be. Like a lot of times I can go in there and at least get a framework and then I can type everything out. Yeah. Or now what we've been doing is training like our HR rep who has never really used AI is now really good at creating those frameworks and then typing out what needs to happen. So awesome. AI is amazing for that. It's getting better. But yeah, we should definitely do a full episode on that one day.
It's a lot, but yeah, you end up creating a lot of stops around it, including like what does a good resume look like? What do we look for? Here's the 3 indicators that this is worth a screening call.
Yeah, because we had to do that for quick staffers. That's why I'm bringing it up. It's like we had to break down like what it makes a good interview. What do good interviews sound like? So we took clips from people who were successful. This is what somebody overseas who is considered a 10 out of 10.
Interesting.
Here's a 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 7
I don't know
out
if
of
we've
10.
gone that far. That's a good
So
idea.
we've taken those,
make them listen to this episode.
so that they can listen to them and they can hear, because if you're from overseas, hiring overseas, you don't necessarily understand what makes good.
Yeah. The nuance. Yeah.
Nuance. And so we've done that. So we've done like a lot of SOPs inside the quick staffers business, which then helps drive rapid response business in the same way, just like recruiter SOPs cut over, things like that. So I'd love to deep dive that one day, because that would be super interesting to me on like what else you're doing and how else that fits. Because I think that as you grow, like that's huge. But back to recruiter, and talent acquisition. Yeah. So we got top of funnel.
Yeah, setting that plan. It's even like it's the planning stage before you even go to the job post. So step 1, plan. Who do you need a year out from now? And if you're listening and you're like, I don't know, like that sounds like hard work, then that's definitely the first place you should start. Yeah. Like you need to sit down and like start to think about it, because I know that it's the same with financial budgets. Well, I was like, we're growing too fast for that. Well,
how do you do it, John?
I grew 30% this year and we budgeted it.
Yeah. How do you do it though? Because I know we do it by like, we have our goal that we're trying to meet. Yeah. We break that down into what it looks like monthly based on the percent of revenue that should come into by month. Yeah. Then we break that down into division. How much should HVAC do? How much should plumbing do? Then we break that down into, well, what does that mean on we sell 70% install, 30% service. How many calls do we need, or how many jobs booked do we need on installs? Then we break that down even further. And well, we have to run 4 service calls for every job, for every install. Right. And so we just like work it all the way back. And what we end up getting to is like, oh, we're short 1.3 technicians, or we're short 2.2 technicians. So to succeed next year, like that's what that's going to look like. And let's look at it on a monthly basis so we know when to hire that person.
We've been using Avoca AI for over a year, and Tyson and the team have just been incredible partners. We've been able to catch more after hours calls, more weekend calls, and book more jobs automatically. Make sure you click the link below and tell them we sent you. We do the same. Yeah. We just start from the other side.
Okay.
So I think one of us is going backwards. Who knows?
Oh, let's have another on-air argument. It's probably me.
Who knows? I'm not going to throw any punches. Who knows?
Okay.
But one of us is going backwards.
I'm curious. So
he might be bald.
Then when we bust out that bald cap for you.
Yeah. Where'd that go? Well, here I must ask you a question. Yeah. Okay, so we do the same thing. We just like literally flip it. So it starts with number of leads.
Okay.
It's a little bit more predictable.
That makes sense.
So if if I think about what is revenue, revenue is number of jobs times closing rate times average ticket. That's it.
Yep.
So starting with a revenue first budget doesn't make a lot of sense because then we're guessing at 3 factors, whereas like we kind of know 2 of these 3 factors already. Like if you've been on a CRM for a while, like you can pull your historical, like maybe it's improving your average ticket, but like you can figure it out. So when we're looking at average ticket, what was the last 12 months? What was the last 90 days? Assuming that we've made operational enhancements in the last 90 days.
Yep.
So like we're gonna say, hey, the last 90 days is probably the most accurate for the next 12 months. Our closing rate, last 12 months, last 90 days, assuming we've made enhancements. So let's like maybe improve that another point or 2 to set a goal.
Yeah.
But we think hey, if my closing rate is 52% in plumbing, I think I can be at 55. That's the budget. Number of leads, we pull number of leads by department, historical, and we look at a couple years of growth. And then that's where you make assumptions.
Yeah.
But the first 2, you don't really make assumptions. It's sort of like, here's what I'm doing.
When we work backwards, we don't make those assumptions either, though. Right? So like when I utilize, hey, we do 70% in installs, 30% revenue.
Yeah.
Like then we break down that revenue number or service number by the average ticket. So that's going to be worth approximately X percent of the revenue.
Yeah.
So like we close at X rate, which then drives us backwards to how many leads we need. I think you're just the actual reason why yours is the correct way is because you're owning the lead gen side versus saying how many leads you need side. So like ours is more of a pie in the sky. We have to hit 6 million for whatever, random reason. We need to drive this many leads. This many need to be marketing. This many need to be TGL flips. This many need to be just raw leads, and we close at this rate. So like we use all that same information, but I think that we're using that to drive how much we need on the front. You're using how much you need, how much you have on the front, and how much you can get on the front to drive what you're going to do on the back, which is the right way.
Well, and it lets you change the target.
Yeah, because then you could turn the dial on this side and do versus like guess and say, okay, I need to drive 70 more leads here.
Yeah.
That's trying to hit the goal of lead generation versus using the goal of lead generation to hit revenue.
But yes, like absolutely. It's taking control over leads, which everyone has control over leads. You just got to figure it out, but you got it. And then, hey, if I budget 52% close rate, then this is what the revenue outcome is. But what if we train a bunch and we do a bunch of ride-alongs and we invest in AI ride-along, and instead of 55, we're at 60? Well, the revenue impact is like millions of dollars.
Yeah.
So that's a part of why we like going bottom up, is because if you're using KPIs to budget, then if my average ticket rose by $50, that's a $3 million difference. Like literal $3 million difference. So when you're measuring like that, you get to see, hey, this is what this enhancement looks like.
Yeah.
Now, how do we go chase that? How do we get 60% close rate? How do we add $50 to average ticket? Is that a price increase? Is that new services?
Yeah,
is that
definitely.
Market?
It's interesting. I think I'm going to retry the exercise from bottom up instead and see.
We have most of the data.
We have all the data.
You have all the data.
Yeah.
So you look at years of leads. Now leads is where you have to assume that you will succeed. And this year we were a little bit more cautious. Didn't end up being necessary because we killed it, but we were we were really concerned in October that with like AI coming to search and like what that was going to do to Google's lead flow, which 7-8 months ago, Google was 60% of our leads. It's no longer, but that was a real concern. So we were like, okay, we have to be conservative on our leads. But the other ones were like it was almost embarrassing how straightforward it was.
Yeah.
Because it's like, this is our close rate, and I didn't have to make something up. Yeah.
Always feels good. Sweet. So we've broken down the recruitment process to...
Well, sorry, we got onto that because we were talking about budgeting for hires. So that's how you do it. You roughly figure out how many leads you're going to have to run next June, so you can figure out the team size that you need.
Yep.
It might be off by 1 or 2.
And to extrapolate a step further, you also need, like, you will have a ratio of service techs to installers. I mean, that should actually tell you, so you don't even need to extrapolate, because you'll know how many units you're installing and how many physical could go in this period of time, and how many people need to do that.
Right.
So sweet, man.
Yeah.
Super helpful.
Always
I think that's
recruit.
really in depth on recruiting.
Yeah. I think
Like
it's a
everything
sales
else, it
process
comes out to be
ridiculous.
just branding and sales, just like every other part of the business. It's like, how do you brand yourself and sell yourself as a company to your technicians?
And like, is what you're offering to the market good? Like, is your position good? Is your comp?
Until AI turns everyone into plumbers, and then we just have a slew of plumbing and HVAC and electricians beating down your door.
Kind of feel like
to
a
take
potential
over.
outcome.
Hey, that's what they're saying. That's not me. That's not Jack saying that. That's what the interwebs is saying.
Yeah. Just like the only jobs will be hands-on jobs.
Yep. Which everyone goes straight to plumber. So that'll be the day.
That's gonna be interesting. We'll see.
We'll see. Sweet, man. That was good.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. If you like what you heard,
I will sub.
you will sub. I'll sub to this one.
I'll sub. I'd sub to this. I would like this video too.
If you like what you heard, you like that John said that I was right for once. If you like that he said that he loves my bald head.
I remember that.
You don't remember saying any of that? Oh. Well, if you like any of that, subscribe and follow for more.
And make sure you check out the workshop at ownedoperated.com.